glad you're here. This is the audio version of the book Peak, a resource for recovery, authored by Faye Anam Abbas. Chapter 3, The Sharing Drug. In 2015, the journal Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience published the results of a study by a team of scientists from the University of Munster. Researchers asked pairs of female friends to view a series of pictures. One friend looked at the pictures within a magnetic resonance imaging scanner, MRI, while the other performed the experiment simultaneously in an adjacent room. Before each picture popped up on the screen, participants were told whether or not their friend was seeing the same picture in the next room. After viewing each picture, the participants rated how positive or negative they felt. The participants reported feeling significantly more positive when they were told their friend was viewing the same emotional picture. This so-called sharing effect was true for both positive and negative pictures. This means that happy pictures made participants feel even happier when they felt that they had shared that experience with a friend, and participants felt less sad seeing a sad picture when they thought their friend was viewing it too. When researchers told participants in the scanner that their friend was viewing the same emotional picture, they saw increased activity in two parts of the brain's reward circuitry, the ventral striatum and medial orbitofrontal cortex, compared to when the participants were told their friend was not viewing the same picture. This is the same circuitry that is activated by other pleasurable experiences, a good meal, winning the lottery, or falling in love. It activates the brain's own internal pharmacy to produce chemicals similar to antidepressants and anxiety-reducing drugs, but without the risk of addiction or side effects. In other words, sharing with people who have had similar experiences releases a sharing drug that reduces pain and enhances our sense of well-being. Why it makes it hurt so bad. In the next several chapters, I will be looking at the sources of suffering for estranged parents and exploring why it is so painful. Suffice it to say at this point that for most parents, estrangement from adult children is a significant stressor with a degree of intensity similar to losing a job, getting a divorce, the death of a loved one, being involved in an accident, or being the victim of a crime. Individuals may feel depressed, irritable, jumpy, restless, anxious, and on edge. The risk is not simply that people will have nowhere to turn to deal with these emotions. It is that they will self-medicate using methods that are not helpful in the long term. Self-medications can include alcohol, prescription opiates, or street drugs. In addition to self-medications, there are problematic distractive behaviors such as gambling, compulsive spending, or excessive use of social media. Of course, the benefits of all these behaviors are short-lived, and self-medication will serve to make matters worse in the long run, increasing health problems, damaging relationships, and providing poor coping mechanism that cannot be safely sustained on a long-term basis. Finding safe, effective ways of dealing with the pain of parental estrangement is a critical component of the recovery process. At the top of my list is the administration of the sharing drug, the relief from pain that estranged parents experience as they are able to share honestly and openly with one another about the impacts of estrangement on their lives. Ideally, this occurs in a small group characterized by these 5. Commonality. Group members all share the same common experience of parental estrangement. There are no expert parents in the room. Anonymity. Parents need to feel safe to share information in a confidential setting where they can feel assured that their participation in the group will not be disclosed to the larger community, particularly family members or adult children. Empathy. Members of the group need to listen empathetically without judgment or criticism of one another. Presence. The group understands its purpose as being present to one another without trying to problem solve, give feedback, or offer advice. Recovery focus. Members are working toward recovery by taking responsibility for their own decisions and behaviors. Any group possessing these 5 characteristics can be helpful in administering the sharing drug. One option is to start a peak group in your community, parents of estranged adult kids. Materials can be downloaded from www.soulshopmovement.org/PEAK. Second on my list of pain reducers is physical exercise. Physical exercise releases the same chemicals into your brain as those that are manufactured by sharing experiences with others, the sharing drug. Engaging in even a moderate amount of physical exercise has significant benefits, including improved mood, reduced stress, as well as an improved ability to cope with stress, improved self-esteem, pride in physical accomplishments, increased satisfaction with oneself, improved body image, increased feelings of energy, improved confidence in your physical abilities, decreased symptoms associated with depression. Third on my list, get out of the house. Not getting enough natural sunlight has been linked to obesity, diabetes, substance abuse, depression, and other diseases. Sunlight aside, a series of experiments from the University of Rochester found spending time outside in green, natural environments can boost your vitality, a feeling of physical and mental energy, by nearly 40%. Spending time indoors has the opposite effect. For problems that require creativity, spend some time working in a coffee shop. Research by Ravi Mehta has demonstrated a coffee shop effect where low levels of ambient noise helped participants be more creative in thinking outside the box. Fourth on my list, psychotherapy. In some cases, it can be valuable to augment the group experience with the services of a professional counselor. A therapist friend who has read this book has cautioned me that not every therapist is going to be qualified to deal with this issue. In selecting a counselor, it is important to choose someone who A. has experience dealing with parental estrangement, B. accepts parental estrangement as a primary issue to be addressed, rather than simply the result of another underlying problem, and C. recognizes that recovery is an appropriate goal when reconciliation is not possible. Finally, medications can be useful when other measures do not provide adequate relief for the pain of parental estrangement. In general, I recommend that medications be seen as a temporary solution required to provide the energy and emotional space to do the work outlined later in this book. There are exceptions that should be discussed with a qualified physician. Inevitably, there will be readers who hope to recover without taking any of these steps, particularly those that require sharing feelings and experiences with others. My goal is to help you recover from the effects of parental estrangement and rediscover a path to a productive and meaningful life. Some people may be able to do that on their own, simply by reading this book and taking the steps outlined in it. A small step that may feel more possible is to find one other estranged parent, give them a copy of the book, and ask them to read it with you. Then meet occasionally to discuss your reactions. Remember, the benefits of the sharing drug kick in simply from knowing that one other person is experiencing what you are, and reading this book with them may be all that you need. Sometimes estranged parents are hesitant to talk about their experiences with others because they feel that to do so is a betrayal of an implicit contract with members who will not speak to those outside the group about problems within the family. Don't talk, don't trust, don't feel are the rules by which many families function. However, it is important for us as estranged parents to realize that by not speaking our truth or owning our reality is the ultimate act of betrayal of ourselves. it is also important to realize that the purpose of sharing our experience is not to focus blame on our adult children by exposing their faults. This simply keeps us stuck as victims. The purpose is to begin taking responsibility for our own recovery process. This purpose, along with confidentiality, should be core values for any group where sharing by estranged parents takes place. Another obstacle to sharing with others is the feeling that we should be able to handle the impacts of parental alienation on our own, and that seeking help only deepens our sense of failure. As with many other issues in life, the healing begins when we admit we have a problem that we can no longer manage and ask for help. As noted earlier, the trauma of parental estrangement is at a level of intensity equal to that of a car accident, a divorce, or being the victim of a crime, problems for which we would not hesitate to ask for professional help from doctors, lawyers, or police officers. Our hesitancy to seek out help for parental estrangement is the consequence of our own prejudices, not a testament to our strength. The psychotherapist Carl Jung said that what we resist persists. Few things are more tragic than years of life lost to the guilt, confusion, and anguish of parental estrangement, especially when they may be the last years of one's earthly sojourn. Parents can't function as parents forever. They will die eventually, if nothing else. But sometimes the expectation of both parents and adult children is that they should. Therapist Michelle Snyder puts it this way: I think that one of the reasons estranged adults don't talk about it is because they haven't shifted their thinking that, developmentally, parents eventually reach an age where they shouldn't have to absorb whatever the child wants to throw at them. To the extent that parents understand that it is their role to always take it, like I mostly appropriately feel towards my adolescent children, they might be disinclined to talk about it, since they consider it to be their role, painful as that role might be. Questions for reflection and discussion. Can you think of a positive experience made more positive, or a sad experience made less sad because you shared it with a friend? Can you describe it? Which of the steps listed in the chapter for dealing with the pain of parental estrangement makes sense for you at this point in your journey? They are: read the book and take steps on your own, read the book in conversation with a friend who is also reading it, join or start a peak group, start getting more regular physical exercise, start getting out of the house more, seek a professional therapist with experience in parental estrangement, speak with a physician about medication that can temporarily improve your mood while you are taking other steps to recover. What obstacles do you need to overcome to take the steps you have indicated? If you are using this book in a group discussion, what did you gain from hearing others speak and from speaking? This is the end of Chapter 3. Thank you for joining us once again. If you would like to help others by sharing this book with them, please do so. And you can also help this channel so that others who are estranged could benefit from it by liking this page, subscribing, and by clicking on the notification bell so that whenever there is a new video uploaded, you will know. You can also feel free to comment in the columns in the spaces below this window with anything that may have been helpful to you or that you have a question about in this chapter. Thank you.